Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are back with a tier list. It has been like half a year since I've made a tier list video. I had to put in so many of the new champions that have come out, and wow, there's been a lot. And so the whole tier list is revamped, as you can see. So the main change is we added a new tier, Beyond OMNI Tier, the SSS tier. So I had to add this tier because I've been thinking about it, and there's been so many insane champs this year that Omni tier and God tier, it's not enough. I need another tier to really separate these amazing champions. And what I'm doing is I'm keeping it to 2 of each class. So as you can see, there are 12 champions in the Beyond Omni Tier, and it's 2 from each single class. So I'm going to try to keep it that way. Maybe going forward into 2020, we'll change it to 3 in each class, if we reach that kind of a point. But yeah, for right now, for all the champions in the game, I'm keeping it at 2 champions per class. So I think these are the 2 best champions of each class. And I think each one of these champions are easily worth a class awakening gem in their respective class. Maybe even a generic, probably a generic for pretty much all of them, yeah. So yeah, that's the Beyond Omni Tier. So let's talk about each class in there. So we got Nick Fury and Aegon for skill, just the 2 skill gods, man, of the game. Nick Fury and Aegon. I think Aegon, he's the best champion in the game, period, fully ramped up. At 999 hit combo, or 1,000 hit combo, technically, you're just fully unblockable. It is insane. You feel it feels so good when you're fully unblockable. And you can get to that point with Nick Fury. You can get it a lot faster, but you don't have nearly as much as what Aegon has at that point. But the ramp up to get Aegon there is 1,000 hits built up, and it is ridiculous to build them up. So Nick Fury is a lot more practical in like Alliance Quest, Alliance War, general questing, depending on where you're questing. But once you get to the really end game stuff like Labyrinth, probably Abyss, even some stuff in Act 6 now, Aegon, you can really build them up. So yeah, those 2, the undisputed 2 best skill champs, really no problem for me there. Mystic, this is where it gets a little bit hairy because Dr. Doom is pretty sick, but he makes it to the Omni Tier. So really, I think the 3 best Mystic champs in the game, really no question for me, is Sim Supreme, Clairvoyant, and Dr. Doom. But for me, I think just Sim Supreme and Clairvoyant just slightly edge him out, and they take the 2 Mystic spots in the Beyond Omni Tier. They're just both such good Mystics, and as for which one's better, it depends on the situation. If you run Suicides, I'd say Claire. But if you don't run Suicides, then I wouldn't say Claire. Like, she's very Suicide dependent. Moving on to the tech class. So this one, Ghost, best champion in the game in my opinion, for sure. Easily the best tech champ in the game. For the second spot, though, it's really between 2 champs for me, and it's 2 amazing robots, Warlock and Guillotine 2099. These 2 are such good robots. Again, it's kind of like Aegon versus Nick Fury, whereas, Warlock would be Nick Fury in the scenario, and Guillotine 2099 would be Aegon in the scenario, where Guillotine, she's amazing when you can really build her up. Her damage threshold is insane, but, it's not as realistic in, let's say, Alliance War, whereas Warlock, dude, that guy puts in so much work in Alliance War, it is ridiculous. So Warlock, definitely, I put him over Guillotine for me. I've really seen some amazing stuff with him. I think he's the 2nd best tech champ in the game, but Guillotine 2099 is really not too far behind. If I was doing more than 2 per class in Beyond Omni Tier, I'd probably put Guillotine up there. Next up is the Cosmic class. We got Corvus and Captain Marvel movie, and I think you can see Hyperion is the only Cosmic in Omni Tier. We had a demotion actually of Cull Obsidian into the God tier, and it's sad. Cull Obsidian is probably the most overhyped character ever when he first came out, because and I mean I helped with that overhyping because I had a 4-star and I made some videos on him, and the numbers from the 4-star, they were insane. Like, it's not like I doctored the numbers. Like, the numbers coming out of a 4-star was absolutely ridiculous. And the numbers you can get out of a 5-star are also pretty ridiculous, that even Kabam says they're going to nerf him or something. So, but the build-up to get him there and the sustainability on Cull Obsidian, I just can't justify putting him in the Omni Tier. That's why he's in God tier. But Corvus and Captain Marvel movie, I think they are both just such good Cosmic champs. Definitely at the top of the pack for the Cosmic class for me. Hyperion actually got a tier promotion to the Omni tier. I've been seeing more and more from Hyperion so much. The guy killed it at Comic-Con. He's so useful. He's very unique in his power gains, and so many uses with his L1 Incinerates, just doing damage that way. There's just so much utility in that alone. His damage output is insane. Very unique champion, especially for how old he is. But he doesn't come close to Captain Marvel or Corvus for me. Especially if you have Captain Marvel with the Nick Fury synergy, then there's no way. Without the Nick Fury synergy, maybe a bit more on equal ground, but with the Nick Fury synergy for sure, Captain Marvel and Corvus easily top 2 Mystic or Cosmic, sorry, for me. Moving on to the Mutant class. This one, as you can see, there's definitely the most yellow within these top 2 classes of Beyond OMNI Tier and OMNI Tier, because the Mutant class is it's so stacked right now. It's insane. But I definitely think that Namor and Omega Red are the 2 best Mutant champions in the game. Omega Red and Namor, they both fill a similar role, actually, of utility for bypassing certain kinds of damage over time, like Electro, Korgs, that sort of thing. But they're also very different in the way they do damage. And I think Omega Red, his damage, how he does it is so unique that I really like it. And the fact that, for a Safeguard node or a Rage node or something like that, Namor, he's kind of screwed damage-wise. But Omega Red, dude, he can thrive because his damage over time is just so powerful that it can bypass these damage cap stuff. And also, nothing's immune to Omega Red's spores, which is great. But Namor, he can still do quite a bit. He can get past a lot of stuff even some stuff that Omega Red can't. So yeah, both of them definitely at the top of the class for the Mutant class. Domino, I'd probably put her at number 3, but for me, she just doesn't. Again, maybe if I was allowing more than just 2 per class in the Beyond OMNI tier, I think, yeah, Domino would probably make it in. But limiting it to 2, definitely Omega Red and Namor get those spots for me. And then the Science class. So I'm sure some people would want to say maybe Quake up here. And if you're the best Quake player in the world, you never make a single mistake with Quake, you play her flawlessly. If the Quake gameplay is that good, okay, you can switch Quake and Void on my list. But for 100% of the player base, that's not the case. We're not robots. We all make mistakes. I mean, it's possible to be the absolute most perfect Quake player, but the best Quake players in the game, I've seen them make mistakes here and there. It happens. We're humans. We make mistakes. We all do. But if the Quake gameplay in theory is that good, okay, you can swap her and Void, and that's fine. But Thing definitely makes it as the best science champion in the game right now for me. I think Thing is he's so amazing. I put him at number 1 for champs that came out in 2019. The man can just do so much on his own, and then with synergies, with the synergy team, with the full Fantastic Four team, oh my god, it is nuts, dude. It's absolutely nuts. If you run the champion synergy and die and take a couple hits, you can get his damage output to an absurd level. It's really ridiculous. Just his protection shielding alone is one of my favorite aspects of Thing. There's so much he can do. He's actually one of the best Alliance War attackers right now. For path number 9, for also path number 1, the buffet node. I want to make some war gameplay with Thing. I actually took him off defense to get some because he's an insane attacker, man. It's really cool. Just his immunities alone make him so unique. Really love Thing, and I also put Void up here because, like I said, unless it's like perfection Quake gameplay, I'd take Void any other day or every day. I don't know. But yeah, Void, dude, he's an older champion, but still he does quite a bit. So yeah, that's the Beyond OMNI tier. Two of the best champs from each class, in my opinion. Then we move down to the OMNI tier, and so Stealth Spidey makes it to the OMNI tier. Him and Blade. So Blade actually got a tier promotion to OMNI tier. Definitely think he deserves it. My problem with Blade is I don't use mine nowadays. I don't use him anymore. I don't find him relevant for most content. But whereas Stealth Spidey, dude, in Alliance War, I've been killing it with Stealth Spidey. I've been using him on path 4, the hardest path in Alliance War. Just his slow debuff alone, paired with his damage output, makes him such a good champion, dude. The slow debuff is so good, and so there's only 3 champions in the game that can readily access it, and that's Stealth Spidey, She-Hulk, and Spider-Gwen. She-Hulk's great for long ramp-up fights, but in like Alliance War, you're not really going to get that much time to ramp up. And Spider-Gwen, she's all right, but the damage output is definitely nothing close to Stealth Spidey. So I find him so useful. So yeah, Stealth Spidey and Blade for the Omni tier for skill champions. This isn't restricted to 2 or anything. I just don't find any other skill champs deserving of the Omni tier. Next up, we got the Mystic champs. We got Doctor Doom and Magic. So Doctor Doom, bro, it's crazy. Like, he was so hyped when he came out, and then he came out, it's like, and now he's like not quite how hyped he was, but he's really, really good. He's very, I say he's underrated at first for sure. People are like, oh, he sucks, but no, he's actually really good. So him and Magic deserve that Omni spot for me. Then Tech Champs, we got Stark, Spidey, and Guillotine 2099. Like I said, Gilly could almost make Beyond Omni tier. She's a really great robot. Really hope to pull her. For College Champs, we just got Hyperion all by his lonesome. And then 4 mutants, man. The mutant class is so stacked right now. We got Domino, Sunspot, Havoc, and Archangel. 4 just phenomenal mutants. So Archangel got a tier promotion. He's really come back. Archangel has really come back in the last 6 months, I want to say. Especially with Alliance War now being the Defenders being shown. That's just such a huge buff for Archangel, because before, no one brought Archangel into war because it was all hidden. And even if you know the class, they could have some immunity. If they have an immunity to bleed or poison, you're screwed if you're going with Archangel, right? But now you can really scout out your path. You can see the nodes, you can see the champions, except for one path where it's still kind of hidden. That's just such a big buff for Archangel, because if you know that he can take the fight, dude, he takes it very well. And then moving on to the Science Champs, we got Human Torch, who is an absolute beast. I'm the biggest Human Torch advocate on YouTube, I'd say, and in the game. I'm a big fan of Human Torch. You guys all know this. And yeah, he got 2 tier promotions, because before I had him in the Titan tier of the letter A. This was because back then I didn't even have him. And then I pulled him. I'm like, yeah, he deserves God tier. And on my list, I give him Omni tier. He's great, man. I've also got Quake, who, again, player perfect, Beyond Omni tier. Absolutely perfect. And then Cap, Omni tier. Cap's a beast, man. Cap is a beast. Again, he's kind of close for that Beyond Omni tier as well, but limiting it to 2, he just doesn't quite make the cut. I have some champions that are kind of cut off down here. I can scroll down so you guys can see. If you're thinking maybe I missed some champs. So at the bottom of God tier, we got Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Gulk, She-Hulk, Emma Frost, Colossus. And real quick, I want to talk about a couple things. So for my top 10 champs of this year, you can see they're pretty much all in the Omni tier and Beyond Omni tier. So I like, some people are like, how could you not put Havoc and Sunspot in the top 10? And I'm like, dude, I gave them honorable mentions. Like, it was really close, man. There were so many good champs here. It was really hard to pick just 10. But as you can see, I put them all in the same list. They're all pretty much on the same level, except for, like, the top 5, which was Nick Fury, Claire. No, Claire wasn't actually. It was Nick Fury, Warlock, Cat Marvel, Namor, and Thing. And those 5 are in the Beyond Omni tier. I think I had Clairvoyant at 6. So, yeah, she was almost in it. But yeah, the rest, you can see they're all in the Omni tier, all on pretty much the same ground there. And then as far as the top 5 worst champs that I said, I put Ronin in there. A lot of people are mad about Ronin. I'm actually going to be reconsidering that. I have an alliance mate that's going to be sending me some gameplay. He's trying to convince me that Ronin doesn't deserve to be in there. But like, I don't think Ronin is a bad champ. I think he's like a pretty average, decent champion. But the problem is there's just been so many good champs this year that I had to pick 5. And as you can see, the 5 that I picked, we have Diablo and Ebony Maw down in the alright tier, the C tier, because those 2 are pretty bad. But the other 3, I think I have them all in the Titan tier, which is Annihilus, Mr. Sinister, and Ronin, which Titan tier, that's a decent tier, tier A. I'm not saying they're bad, I'm just saying in comparison to the other champs released this year, they're not the greatest. But the only champions on that list that were like bad were pretty much Diablo and Ebony Maw, who are like 2 tiers apart from all the other champions. So I just kind of wanted to highlight that. Whereas we're talking tier list, you can see what I'm really saying. But when I have to pick just 5, the top 5 worst champs of this year, I don't mean that like Ronin sucks. Like I'm not saying that. But I had to pick 5, and if I didn't pick Ronin, it'd be between Man-Thing, Elsa. Those guys are in the Titan tier here. And, I've heard some things about Elsa. I've seen a little bit of gameplay, which looks alright. And as for Man-Thing, Brian Grant, he's a big fan of his Man-Thing, and I've seen some good stuff from him, so I couldn't put him in the top 5 worst. Some other champ we want to talk about here. Mysterio is in the God tier with Darkhawk and Sentinel. I think Darkhawk and Sentinel are the 2 best champs for Tech in God tier, but I don't know if they quite deserve Omni tier. That's a tough one. I was debating about that one. And then we get down to the Cosmic Champions. We got Medusa, Cull, Proxima, Hela. Hela is in here because if you're really good at playing Hela style, you get some pretty crazy results. Same with Proxima Midnight. If you can play her style, she's a really big payoff. Arcus, Venom, and Venom the Duck, and Medusa. I'd say those 4 could potentially make the Omni tier, but again, I feel like they don't quite make it. And then for Mutants here, Colossus. Man, Colossus went from the joke tier. It's a little cut off. But yeah, he went from the joke tier to the God tier because of his buff. Emma Frost got a promotion from Titan tier to God tier. Definitely think she deserves that. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much the list. Old Man Logan also got a 3-tier promotion from bad tier to Titan tier, I think. Yeah, he's a beast. But yeah, if there's any other changes you guys think I should make, go ahead, let me know. I was more focused on the Beyond OMNI Tier, and God tier, and Titan tier. I wasn't too focused on the Great Nora tier. I made a couple promotions here and there, like Bishop. I think I promoted him in Gold Pool up 1. X23, I promoted her up 1. I put Black Widow in God tier. I think I had her in Titan tier before because I actually have some alliance mates that have her at Sig 200 Astamp. That guy has her in my battle group. He has her at Sig 200. He's taken a lot of things in Alliance War with her. He does some great work with her. So yeah, it's a 5-star Sig 200. I think she deserves God tier, which is interesting. I still don't have her, but she is in the current featured. I put Dormammu and Loki up a tier. I put Mephisto and Hood up a tier to Titan tier. I think those guys have been underrated. But yeah, that's the main changes to the tier list, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think, if I should make any changes. We can have a little bit of a conversation down below in the comments. But yeah, that's going to do it for my tier list of 2019. And I'm going to try to keep it a bit more updated for 2020. I won't wait half a year. Let me know what you guys think the duration between tier list videos should be. If I should do it monthly, every 2 months, every 3 months. Let me know. Let me know what you think. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Drop a thumbs up if you did enjoy. It really does help me out. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content in the future for the new year of 2020. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Peace out.